Hello and welcome to another video. It's Thursday, so we're having a Thursday study session. And what are we studying? Today we're studying side profiles. And if you've seen the title of this video, you know that these drawings are ugly. Okay? They're ugly. I'm getting it out of the way. These are ugly. And you want to know why they're ugly? Because I tried to make them realistic. But unfortunately, the thing is, right, I don't really do realism, but I'm trying to practice the way that these side profiles look. And I tried to pick unique side profiles from from Pinterest, so that way I had a bit of variety. I tried to go on line of action, but for faces, they only had like different expressions. They didn't so much as have like different positions of the face, like 3/4 view, side profile, and like front facing or anything like that, unfortunately. So I had to look on Pinterest, but the previous references that I picked were pretty good. They were all side profiles, so I was like, okay, we can do this on Pinterest. But okay, I went into this knowing that these drawings were not going to be very good, because one, I'm not very good at realism, and two, I'm not very good at side profiles. I only do like the same side profile every time because I've gotten used to it at this point, right? I'm like, these drawings are gonna be ugly. I'm learning, and my mantra before I started was, these drawings are going to be ugly, and that's okay. And I just kept repeating that. These drawings are going to be ugly, but that's okay. These drawings are going to be ugly, but that's okay. I had to psych myself up before I did them, because I knew if I went in thinking that they were going to be great and they turned out bad, I was going to hurt my feelings. So I went in with realistic expectations, and for that, I love these drawings. You know why? Because they're a first step on the journey to getting better at side profiles. And that's the goal, you guys. It's not just necessarily that I want to get better at side profiles. Honestly, the one that I do now is like passable. It's fine. If I wanted to, I could probably get away with just doing the same side profile. But I'd like to get better at doing other types of noses, especially in side profile, and also lips and such like that, just so that way the characters look a bit more unique. And also I feel like their front views should really match their side views, and I feel like they don't really match currently the way that I do them. There's a couple of the characters that I do, I feel like the front view matches the side view, but for the rest of them, not really. I have the types of noses and lips that I want them to have. I have it in my mind. I know what I want it to look like. Now it's just sort of kind of getting my hand to do the same thing. And that's what this whole point of the studying is for, is to help me get closer to that goal. As I was doing these, I was like, these are all coming out really bad. But obviously I was like, that's okay. I really like them for that reason. I'm like, these are not great. But I mean, there's still something sort of kind of appealing about them. Not in the sense where I'm like, this is beautiful art or whatever. But it's just knowing that I was able to do them and retain my confidence as an artist afterward. I was like, I'm really proud of myself for that. Like, you should, as an artist, you should be okay with making things that don't necessarily look the best that they can, or like where you feel like this is not my best work. I feel like that's like the struggle, is just to be like, this is not my best work, and to be okay with that. That would be literally impossible for every single drawing of yours to be the best, you know? And so that's why I like these, because they're not great, but I'm still okay with that. So yeah, so leading on to a little bit about the portraits, that's side profiles. I don't remember doing them at all. I really don't remember them at all at this point. Maybe because I was so detached from them, they sort of kind of, as soon as I finished them, they sort of kind of left my mind. And so I don't have any particular feelings about them, just because I kept myself very detached from these drawings. And I think that's a good way to be towards drawings that are like just like for studying. I feel like I have to get into like my training arc era, so that way I can start doing things that are like doing studies a bit more often, just because once a week I feel like it's not enough currently. It's better than nothing, that's for sure. And also, if you're like a person who's like me, you only study once a week. I'm not saying don't do that. Obviously, move at your own pace. I just feel like that for me, I'm not doing enough. But I feel like I always struggle with that sort of thing. You guys know that by now. I'm always feeling like I'm not doing enough, and then I do more, and I burn out, and I'm like, I feel so bad. And so I'm trying not to do that. So maybe I need to like cool off and chill in my own mindset and be like, hey, you feel like you're not doing enough, but honestly, you're doing fine, friend. Maybe I'll study not portraits. I don't know. I keep thinking portraits. Side profiles again. Next week, I'm trying to pick different pictures again, just because I feel like there's so many unique side profiles that I need to be practiced. I feel like I really want to get good at drawing a hook nose, but every time I do it, I feel like this feels like offensive for some reason. Even though it's like I'm drawing it the way that it looks, but I'm like, the very last one that I do, I feel like it came out for a while. I was was like, oh, this is really bad. Like, I drew this really badly, and like, this is like almost offensive, right? But I'm like, at the end, I was like, actually, no, it looks pretty similar to the guy. I feel like I'm just like getting stuck on weird hang-ups in my mind or something. But I'm like, I really want to learn how to draw hook nose. I think they're so cute from the side, and so I just want to figure out how to do it, and I have to practice more. And then after I learn how to draw noses, I can learn how to draw like noses that are broken, or like they have a bump in them because they had been broken before. I feel like that's just like storytelling, like potential there, you guys. And so like conveying story through character design, it's like I'm always trying to get better at conveying story through character design. If I was ever going to be like, I want to pursue art, which I do not really. For a while I thought I did, but I really didn't like doing commissions, and also I don't like printing things to make stickers and shit, and like prints. I mean, I make them for myself because that's fun, but like making them to sell sounds like a pain in the ass. So I don't think I'd ever really get into like art as like a job, but if I ever did, I think I would want to be like a character designer, because I think it's really fun to like convey story through like the character designs. I feel like my character designs are like super simple, so they don't really do that too well. But if I was able to like dedicate my life to that sort of craft, which again I don't really want to do, but if I did want to do it, it'd probably be character design. I just think that's really fun. It's like, and then you watch videos about character design and they're like, oh, these shapes help convey like the way that the character is, like their personality and shit, and I'm like, that's so cool. I think character design is probably my favorite of like the artists like disciplines or whatever, just because I feel like you can get a lot of stuff in character design. I mean, I know a lot of stuff ends up getting lost in like animation and shit afterwards, because like you can't like animate all that cool stuff, but it's like you see all the character design stuff like for art books, for like movies and stuff. My favorite portions to look at are the character designs. I mean, like the landscape designs are cool and stuff, but like landscape is not really my thing. No offense if you're like super into landscape, that's really cool. I mean, it's really interesting to know all the parts that go into the movie, but I really like the character design stuff. So, like I bought the Spider-Verse books for the movies, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna see so much stuff about character design. And it's like, yeah, there's some character design stuff in there, but honestly a lot of it is like backgrounds and stuff. It's like, I don't hate backgrounds or whatever, but it's like I want to see all the cool character designs. Like they came up with so many spider people, and that section of the book is so short in my opinion, and I'm like, I wanted to see all the spider people they designed. But it's like, what are they gonna do, like fill like majority of the book with just like flip pages of like character concept work and stuff? It's like, no, obviously they're not going to do that. They worked on a lot of stuff for the movie, and I feel like probably the backgrounds took up a lot of more of that, and also like the shots and stuff took up a lot more of that than the character designs is, which is like, me personally, I just love character design. And so if there's like any books if there's any art books that you guys know that is like goes over the concept of character designs, but that like art books that have like a lot of character design in it, recommend it to me. I do love art books. I have a small collection currently, but I'm always looking to expand it. And like I said, I like character design stuff, so if you have any recommendations, I would love to hear them. Anyway, moving back to the art a little bit, the reason I decided to make these a little bit closer to realism was not really a conscious thought in my mind. I was going in with the intent of stylizing these from the jump, but then as I was doing them, my mind would just not let me stylize them. And also I was like, I'm trying to focus really on the nose and the lips part of this, and even honestly, more honest than that, I was really trying to focus on the nose for these, and so I was like, I don't really want to think about the eyes, so I just did this thing where I just drew the shape of the eye, and I really also tried to get the shape of the eyebrow, and just the placement of the eye correctly, because the way that the eye is placed in a side profile is pretty like different than the way it plays from the front, obviously, but also it's like you have to set it further back than you think, because I feel like whenever I do a side profile, the eye is literally right up next to like where your nose bridge is, and it's like that's not where your eye would sit in the side profile. Your eye sits back further. It's like an inch further back from your nose bridge, and I never draw it that way. I always draw it like right up close to the nose bridge, and that's wrong. And I learned that from these side profile studies, and so I try to take in a little bit more of like where the eye is placed, and not just like the nose. I know I said I focused mostly on the nose, which is true, but also I learned that eyeball thing, and so I kept the eyes really simple. I didn't really want to focus on drawing the eyes because I was like, it's gonna look weird either way, so I really care about the eyes. So sorry if you don't like this. It's technically a little bit of a change of style for me, but it's like, I mean, I'm trying to learn, and also I'm not really trying to focus on the stylization yet. I know there's a lot of people who are like, you have to learn the basics before you learn stylization, and usually I'm like, who cares, who gives a shit, right? Because I'm like, don't tell people what to do, kind of. It's like, obviously, if you're like in art school, you have to listen to art school teachers and shit, but it's like, I'm learning off the internet. If I don't want to draw realism, I don't have to. And they're always like, you have to learn the rules before you can break them, which is true, but it's like, I don't have to learn if I don't want to. It's just like, I feel like I should take that advice because I am trying to improve. So I'm like, I don't want to learn realism at all, just because I feel like it's boring, in my opinion. I'm sorry if you really love realism. I always feel really bad for having that opinion, because I know how long it takes and like how much skill it takes. It's like, I'm not ever going to be saying that realism does not take skill and hard work, because I 100% believe that it does. I just find it boring, which is so sad to say. I just feel like stylization is much more interesting, in my opinion. It's like, wow, look at all that stuff, and you do that and you do that, and it's like the shapes are like really weird and wonky, but you can still tell that that's supposed to be what it's like representative of, and I just think that's cooler, in my opinion. And so yeah, but anyway, we're coming up on the end of the video, you guys. Now, I didn't really talk about these drawings at all. I ranted about other stuff, but I think that's pretty on par for me, as most of the time. Anyway, thank you guys for spending this time with me. I will go ahead and see you in the next one. Bye.